At least you will have an idea on how to go through the notes. See? Ayan. Tingnan natin ulit. Saan na ako? Dito na ako, no? Lecture 11. Okay. This will be our last topic for today. Let me just go through your Pythagorean triples. What are Pythagorean triples? Pythagorean triples, you are familiar with your Pythagorean theorem, right? So if x, y, and z are positive integers satisfying x squared plus y squared equal to z squared, then x, y, z, close in parentheses, is called a Pythagorean triple. So an example of a Pythagorean triple is 3, 4, 5. Why? Because you can rewrite it as 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. Yeah, no? 3, that's your x there. And you square it, 4, you square it, 25. And that will give you 9 plus 16 equals 25. Okay? So, what do we mean by primitive triple? If the three numbers are pairwise relatively prime. So, pairwise relatively prime. For example, the 3 and 4, pairwise relatively prime. 4 and 5, relatively prime. 3 and 5, relatively prime. We call that your primitive triple. So prime, from the word prime. Huh? Now, examples, if you have 5, 12, 13, 5 and 12, 12 and 13, 5 and 13 are supposed to be relatively prime. So you have 25, 5 squared is 25, 12 squared is 144, 13 squared. So you can have several primitive triples. I mean to say the set of Pythagorean triples is actually endless. So you can, the first Pythagorean triple, 3, 4, 5, yung pinaka-famous and basic na Pythagorean triple. Also, if you have integer greater than 1, then 3n, 4n, and 5n are also set of Pythagorean triple. Because you can rewrite 3n, the quantity squared, plus 4n, the quantity squared equal to 5n, the quantity squared. And use that value and make up infinitely many triples using 3, 4, and 5. What are the properties? So, a Pythagorean triple always consists of all even numbers or two odd numbers and an even number. You can verify this later on. A Pythagorean triple can never be made up of all odd numbers or two even numbers and one odd number. Why? Because the square of an odd number is an odd number and the square of an even number is an even number. So when you are given some values, then you can immediately identify whether you can make a Pythagorean triple out of it. Okay? Because of these facts here. So constructing Pythagorean triples would give you the following. A equals m squared minus n squared. B equals 2mn. C is equal to m squared. Meaning to say, these are actually the generating value. So you can generate your Pythagorean triple making use of this. I would have wanted to solve this one for you. Paano, isolve natin mamaya pag gumana yung aking hold on, PowerPoint. So ngayon ginagamit ko is the PDF copy. Now for example, this one, m equal to 2 and n equal to 1. You can generate a Pythagorean theorem, a triple, I'm sorry, making use of this one. When m is equal to 2, you will have 2 squared minus 1 squared equals, diba, kay m squared minus n squared man. So, 2 squared minus 1 squared will give you 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. So, you have a to be equal to 3, and 2mn, that's 2 times, m is 2, n is 1. So, 2 times 1 is equal to 4. So, you will have 3, 4, 5. And we know that this is actually a Pythagorean triple. Similarly, when m equal to 3 and n equal to 2, we get the next Pythagorean triple. So, which Pythagorean triple is generated when m is equal to 6 and n equal to 5? Anong gagawin ninyo? Again, you can substitute yung n sa formula. A is equal to m squared minus n squared, which will give you 6 squared minus 5 squared, which is 36 minus 25, which will give you 11. So your A is 11, your B is, again, computed as twice of mn, which is 60. And C is equal to m squared plus n squared equals this quantity. So you have 11, 60, 61, which consists actually of your Pythagorean triple when m is equal to 6 and n is equal to 5. On the other hand, if the problem is to find out as to which values of m and n give the Pythagorean triple 17, 144, 145, all you have to do is to consider A is equal to 17, B is equal to 144, and C is equal to 145. And then compute for the value of m and n, making use of the equation that we have earlier. So algebra part lang ito. Algebra lang ito. Huh? So proposition 1 says that if xyz is a Pythagorean triple, then the first pair xy is equal to, you have there xc, which is equal to yz. So, mean to say, ang GCD yan, no? Ang GCD. So, if, suppose d divides x and d divides y, then d squared divides x squared plus y squared. So that you have d divides z. Similarly, if d divides c, then you have the following. Okay? So, mean to say, the GCD of xy is equal to the GCD of xc, and GCD of xy is equal to GCD of yc. What else, sir? This is the list of the first few Pythagorean triples. Less than 1,000 and where A, B, and C are less than 1,000. So, pwede nyo nang tingnan ito. You can verify this, ha? Baka may mga typo error, paki-check na lang. Theorem 1, every Pythagorean triple is a multiple of primitive Pythagorean triple. Conversely, every multiple of a Pythagorean triple is a Pythagorean triple. So we have the following proof. You can try to take a look at the proof later on. And then similarly, this one, proposition 2 says that if you have xyz is a primitive Pythagorean triple, then x and y are opposite parity. In effect, one of the numbers is odd and the other is even. Xy equal to 1, both numbers cannot be even. Suppose x and y are both odd, then x squared is congruent to y squared, congruent to 1 modulo 4. So you have z squared is congruent to 2 modulo 4, which is actually not true. Therefore, they should have opposite parity. Theorem 2, a triple xyz with y even is a primitive Pythagorean triple if and only if it is of this form. So again, we have a criteria for a triple xyz with this one as your even. So it's actually a primitive Pythagorean triple if and only if your x here is rewritten as, or can be rewritten as x, a squared minus b squared, and y is your 2ab and z is equal to your a squared plus b squared. Let me see. Okay, ganap tayo yan. Yun yung formula ang gusto ko para ma-solve sana. Tingnan lang ko lang mamaya kung makaya natin. Hanapin ko na. Okay. So, let's stop recording here.